Hi, Mr. Grove again with Basic First Aid. Today we're going to look at heat-related environmental emergencies and cold-related environmental emergencies. But before that, let's just clear a couple things. One is at any point in time again that you want to retake a test or a quiz or you missed a quiz, please email me and you'll have that opportunity to retake or take the quiz. I know summer is right around the corner. We have about 2 weeks left in the semester. I wish everybody a great summer. Some of you will be working in your trade. Others will be staying in school. And some will just be taking a part-time job or looking what lies in the future. But I want you this summer to, as best as possible, to try to bring some type of normalcy to your life. Enjoy your family and friends. And, I just wish you the best. So again, I want to emphasize 2 weeks to go. There will be a student survey. I will send you an email and it will have your course survey number, which you can go in and do the student survey. I will award 5 points for all of those that complete it. All you'll need to do is email me a screenshot or that you completed it. I trust you that you completed the survey. You can just say, yes, I completed the survey. There will not be any detrimental points if you don't do it. So it's just 5 bonus points that I can add on for your time and efforts. Any other questions, again, email me. Remember, my better half is Mrs. Grove. If you ever want to see her on campus, if she's in the Career Services Center in that area. But I know she spoke to your classes, and she kind of keeps me with insight in what's going on at Stevens. So let's start with heat-related environmental emergencies.
Exposure to extreme heat or cold can make a person seriously ill. Let's take a look at some heat-related illnesses. There are 3 types of heat-related illnesses, and while all should be treated seriously, some are more dangerous than others. Heat cramps are the least severe of the 3. Heat exhaustion requires immediate attention, and a heat stroke is a life-threatening emergency. Heat cramps are painful muscle spasms. The best treatment for heat cramps is to move the person to a cool place, have him or her slowly rehydrate. A sports drink or other supplemental carbohydrate electrolyte drink is recommended. If not available, give the person coconut water or milk. Water can be used if none of these are available. Help the person lightly stretch the muscle. And remember, don't ever give a person salt tablets, as this can worsen the situation. Signs and symptoms of heat exhaustion include cool, moist, pale, ashen, or flushed skin, headache, nausea, dizziness, weakness, and exhaustion. Heat exhaustion requires immediate care and can usually be reversed if recognized early on. First, move the person out of the heat. Then, loosen or remove as much clothing as possible and apply cool, wet cloths, making sure to re-moisten the cloths periodically. If possible, fan and mist the person with water. As with heat cramps, have the person rehydrate with a sports drink if they are awake and able to safely swallow. The next best choices are coconut water or milk. Water may be offered as an alternative if none of these are available. Call 911 if the person has a change in responsiveness or refuses fluids, or if their condition does not improve. Signs and symptoms of a heat stroke include extremely high body temperature with a change in mental state, such as confusion, vision disturbances, or becoming unresponsive. Their skin may be red or pale and can be either dry or moist. Other signs and symptoms include a rapid, weak pulse, rapid, shallow breathing, vomiting, and seizures. Heat stroke is brought on when heat exhaustion is not properly cared for. You'll learn more about how to treat heat stroke in the mission.
Okay, so you can see the brief summary. Heat cramps are the least severe of the 3. Heat exhaustion requires immediate attention. And of course, heat stroke is life-threatening. Let's go to the mission.
Brian, a warehouse employee, does not look so good. He was just brought in from the loading dock. You notice Brian's breathing is shallow, he has red skin, and seems confused.
Okay, so we're going to go through sample so we know what we look at the scene.
Everything looks okay over here. No hazards on this side of the room. Good. You've checked the scene, and there don't appear to be any hazards. The scene is safe. While checking, you didn't notice any severe, life-threatening bleeding.
So we're going to go, didn't see anything. We're going to obtain consent.
What should you say to obtain consent?
So you have three options here, but always explain who you are, your level of training. You can say, hey, I had basic first aid, Thaddeus Stevens. I feel confident enough, and then you would ask if you can help.
Yeah, sure. Good job. Now you can interview Brian to learn more about his condition.
Okay, so we're going to find, again, sample. The symptoms.
I don't, I'm just hot.
Okay, the A would stand for in sample. We're going to ask him if there's any allergies. He could be having a reaction to something.
No.
Okay, again, it could be something with medication he has taken.
No.
Okay, how about prior to any medical conditions? Did you have anything else going on? That would be the P.
No.
Then we're going to look at the L in sample. Last food or drink.
I don't, I'm just hot.
Okay, and of course, the last thing was the event. What led up to the problem?
I don't, I'm just hot.
Okay. So we want to call 911 here. So right now we're going to ID.
Okay, good job. You called 911 and EMS is on the way. Brian is showing signs and symptoms of heat stroke. He needs to be cooled immediately.
Hey, I'm back. I couldn't find anything to help Brian. Is he all right?
Okay, so she evidently was at the scene possibly, so we're going to ask what happened.
He's been out in the sun a long time. I think the heat got to him.
Okay, let's move her over here. So we got to her, we talked to her, asked what happened.
He's been out in the sun a long time. I think the heat got to him.
Get me out of the picture here. We can give him a sports drink.
While a sports drink is helpful for
Or-
heat cramps, it won't cool the body enough to be effective for treating
So
a heat
what
stroke.
we'd like to do then,
When a person is suffering from heat stroke, the best possible thing you can do is immerse the person neck down in cold water. Since you don't have that option in the warehouse, the next best thing you can do is to continuously spray the man with cold water from the hose. After cooling Brian, monitor him for any changes in responsiveness. Within minutes of cooling Brian, EMS arrived to take over. Good work.
okay, mission completed. So when you diagnose that, to cool the person down, or if you want to give them something to drink as well, but make sure you cool them down if you have the opportunity to use cool water. Okay, our next mission is going to be cold-related environmental emergencies.
Frostbite and hypothermia are two cold-related environmental emergencies that can be very painful and serious. Frostbite is the freezing of body parts that have been exposed to cold temperatures. The severity of a frostbite injury depends on environmental factors like air temperature, wind, and length of exposure. Signs and symptoms of frostbite include lack of feeling in the affected area, swollen or discolored skin that appears waxy or cold to the touch, and in more serious cases, blisters. Also, areas near the frostbitten area can be extremely painful. One of the most important things to remember when caring for frostbite is to handle the area gently. Use skin-to-skin contact to warm the area, but don't rub the skin. If the injury is severe, soak the area in lukewarm water, no more than 105 degrees, until the color returns and the area feels warm. Finally, loosely bandage the area with a dry, sterile dressing. Monitor the person and seek medical attention if appropriate. It is very important that you do not attempt to warm a body part if there is a chance it will refreeze. In a hypothermic condition, The entire body cools because its ability to keep warm is failing. Hypothermia is serious, and it's important to begin providing care as soon as you recognize this type of emergency. Signs and symptoms of hypothermia include shivering, numbness, a glassy stare, or loss of consciousness. You'll learn how to care for a hypothermic condition in this mission.
Okay, you can see the brief summary, environmental emergencies, as well as 2 common types. But let's go to the mission. Here we go.
Looks like a man's worried about his coworker's state. Use the check, call, care process to respond to this emergency.
Okay, check. Scene.
Everything looks okay over here. No apparent hazards.
Check over here.
Everything looks okay over here. Good. You've checked the scene, and there don't appear to be any hazards. The scene is safe. While checking, you didn't notice any severe, life-threatening bleeding.
Okay, didn't see anything.
Yes, please.
Okay, so he's cold. You're asking what you need to do. Interviewing. Okay, we go through sample.
I'm so cold.
Okay, again, always remember you do this. If you did see bleeding or you thought it was life-threatening something, obviously 911 would be immediate. The A.
No.
Whoops, sorry.
I'm so cold.
I went through this before. I just clicked the wrong button.
No.
B. Medical conditions prior. Fast food or drink. The L.
I'm so cold.
Events leading up to.
I was working. The car won't start. I'm cold. Great. You've gathered enough information, and it looks like Terry is suffering from hypothermia. Symptoms of hypothermia include shivering, numbness, a glassy stare, indifference, and loss of responsiveness. In order to care for hypothermia, gently move the person to a warm place. Then, gradually warm the person's body with blankets, warm liquids, and a source of heat if one is available. Also, make sure to cover the head. You should always call 911 if you believe a person is suffering from hypothermia. Hey, I can call. That way you can help Terry. Yeah, of course. I'll go call right now.
Okay, let's move him into the truck where he get warm.
Nice job. You moved Terry into the truck.
We did. Wrap Terry in a blanket.
Good thinking. A Mylar or space blanket would also be helpful, as this would trap in the body heat.
Turn on the heat.
That's a smart move. This will help warm Terry. Before you monitor Terry, there's a couple more things you can do to help raise his body temperature. Nice job. Just make sure the warm liquids don't contain alcohol or caffeine. Alcohol reduces body heat, and caffeine can dehydrate the body.
Okay.
Nice job. Now, continue to monitor Terry until EMS arrive and take over.
Okay. That tallies our event. I think I only have 14 minutes.